Hello, everybody, and welcome to Empower for You. Today, I'm speaking to you today with a very troubled heart and a rather troubled spirit. And maybe some of you are in the same place I am right now. Today, I had something to happen to me, and I found it to be rather trying, and maybe I'm in a trial. Maybe I'm in a test, of which I can't really say. It feels like I am. Now, it feels like I'm in the middle of a test, but I really don't know. And I know and I understand how the scripture says that we are to turn the other cheek and to, be the bigger person, and that we are to forgive people 70 times, 7 times a day. I understand all of those concepts. We were all raised on those concepts. But when does it become too much? When does it come to a place to whereas it's like, okay, when is enough enough? And the only thing I can speak to you from is being myself. And being the person that I am today, it took some work. As probably with you, it has taken work to get you to the place where you are right now. To get you to be the person that you are right now. And with me, it has taken some work. It has taken years and years and years of working on myself, not working on other people, because I can't fix nobody. A lot of times you can't even fix yourself. You just have to go with whatever's going on. Today, I was the manager on duty at work today. And a situation arose. And all I was trying to do was just find out some information on what was going on. Because, some other employees were disturbed about some things that had been said, some things that had been done. And it was my responsibility to find out what was going on and how to solve it. So, I asked one of my coworkers, I said, well, can you get the staffing coordinator on the phone? Can you call her for me? And yeah, I'm going to tell you the whole story. It's not going to be no long story short because you're going to miss something. So you're going to hear the whole story. So just work with a sister. Work with me. So I had her to call her on the phone for me, and I just asked. I didn't think that there had to be this big announcement as to who I was, my title, why I was there. It ain't that deep. My question to her was, what's wrong? Her response to me was, who is this? Did I call you? No. I told her who I was. I said, so what's going on? And I guess somebody was observing that lights were not being answered promptly, that, residents had needs that had not been met, and that nobody was on the floor at all. Okay? Nobody. Now, mind you, I'm sitting there with another employee and we're eating lunch. While there was another employee covering the floor while the other CNA was at lunch. Now, the other CNA that was covering the floor, she's not God. She can't be everywhere at one time. So if you don't visibly see this person, obviously they're doing patient care. So this other being, I guess, manager or whoever they were, decided to report these issues to the staffing coordinator. And so after what was said to me on the phone, I didn't reciprocate. And I tried to be as ladylike and professional as I could. So when I saw said staffing coordinator, I told her, come here, let me talk to you. I said, come on. So we went into an anti-office and there was someone in there, and I said, can we have this room? And they gave us the room. I pushed up the door. I said, what's wrong? And she goes all into this story about, she's been working short. She's on a certain floor by herself. She's not complaining about da-da-da, 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 on and on and on. And so that's when I said to her, I said, that was me on the phone. And all I did was ask you what was wrong. Well, I don't have your number programmed in my phone. I didn't know who it was. And anyway, you should have announced yourself. You should have said that you were this, that, and the other, da-da-da-da-da. Okay. I said, okay. So, okay, that's my fault. Sorry. And it proceeds to escalate up into blaming yet me, the supervisor, and the manager, and the nurse, to a subordinate, to a CNA. And she goes on to tell me that me bringing her into the room to discuss how she addressed me on the phone, that I was taking something and blowing it up into nothing, that I was taking something small and just making something big of it. Then she proceeds to tell me, well, I have things to do and I'm busy right now and I don't have time for this. And she walks out the room. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I have grown, because you already know we were supposed to have taken it to the streets once she opened that yap. But maturity, growth, and the grace of God saved her this day. And so, when does it become enough? What is it about people that feel that they can talk to you any type of way, and then they turn around and they're the victim? I'm quite sure many of you have come across these type of people. And I'm quite sure that in the end that you are always seen as the bigger person. That you are supposed to hold your mouth. You're supposed to choose your words carefully. Make sure that your face is in the right, expression when you're addressing someone, to make sure that you're professional, that you're speaking in a calm tone. So how is it that we have a certain standard that we're supposed to adhere to when other people can just do and say whatever it is they feel without consequence? And that if you say something to them, you had no reason to say anything to them. It was not your business. It was not your place. Don't you find that a little bit odd? A little bit one-sided? And these people, they have no sense of, what they're doing. And when I attempted to redirect this human being, she reciprocates to me and tells me, well, I'm not you. And you're trying to make me seem like you're trying to put me in your place. You want me to receive what you're saying as you would. Because I told you how I felt. So I expressed my feelings, and now I'm wrong for this. First of all, I could have aired you out right there in public at the nurse's station. I could have taken it upon. I was within my right to just air you out right there. But no, I was the bigger person. And I called you aside, and we were going to be two queens talking behind a door where nobody was. And you proceeded to play the victim, and you still talking to me regular, and you the victim. What's wrong with that right through there? I don't know which one you are, whether you're the bigger person or you're the victim. But one thing I can say is that we need to be in a place to where as we take other people's feelings into context. Everybody has feelings. Everybody does. Even the worst human being, the meanest, cruelest human being that you can come across on this side of glory has feelings. And somehow, many of us never take into regard how your words hurt other people's feelings. Now, what was said to me today, it didn't hurt my feelings. It pissed me off because I could have wrote her up and sent her home. Lickety split. But I didn't. Because I was within my right as a supervisor to write her up and send her home. I could have clocked her out myself. But me, being the bigger person, I just sucked it up. Great. You have that victory. You think you've done something. Great. Good job. However, what a lot of people don't understand is that one day, the very person that you were mean, low down, cruel, and ugly to, you're going to need them. And no telling what type of mood you might catch them in. Will they remember what you've done? Can they overlook what you've done? Me, I'm past it. But I just, something in me just tells me that there are some of you and me, we're at our limit with it. What do you do when you're at your limit? What do you do? What do you do when you've talked out, you've prayed out, read out, watched video out? What do you do when you've reached your ceiling? What do you do? And many times when we want to express these feelings, that's usually the thing that people want to say to us. Well, did you talk about it? Well, did you pray about it? Did you meditate about it? Did you do this? Yes, we've done all of those things. Yes, we've gone through all of our protocols. Now, where are we? Where are we now? You know, we're trying to remain dignified. We're trying to remain human. But somewhere along the line, enough pressure will bust a pipe. How much pressure is on your pipe? And don't fake with me. Don't. You can fake break with yourself anytime you get ready, but don't fake break with me. Anger is real. Disappointment is real. Frustration is real. These are real emotions. Embarrassment is real. Feeling belittled, all these things are real. And sometimes we need to deal with those things. Because I know with myself, I'm one of those, I'm long suffering. You know, I didn't always be long suffering. Usually I would be at your throat quick, you know, with some quick words that will come out of my mouth and devastate you to your soul. But I try not to be that person. I try not to be that person. And a lot of times when we're in difficult situations, we tend to internalize those things because we can't vent out. We vent in. And we internalize those things. And it's almost like pressure building up in a pipe. You know. Thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. And that keeps stacking. More weight, more weight, more weight, more pressure, more pressure, more pressure. And what happens when you come to the end of your enough? When you come to the end of your enough, it's going to come up. It's going to come up and it's going to come out, and you never know what's going to trigger it. I guess you're wondering where I'm going. When you're out of cheeks, what do? You've turned this cheek, you've turned this cheek, and you turned your other two, and you know what I'm talking about. Do you start over? You just keep allowing yourself to be kicked around like a dog? I'm not saying you got to fight nobody. I'm not saying you got to cuss them out. I'm not saying any of those things. But somewhere along the line, people need to be put in their place. They need to know their place. Are they going to like it? No. Because we have so many people walking around who feel that they're so self-entitled, that they're so important. And especially ones who don't know what to do with a little bit of power. Just a tiny incy bit of power, about power as big as a grain of sand. They got that much power, and now they've lost their mind. They've gone crazy. Power is dangerous in the wrong hands. You know that. Of course, I'm not talking about you, because you good. Me, I'm used to responsibility. Everybody doesn't handle power well. Everybody does not handle responsibility well. There has to be a balance there. You know, you have to set the tone for how you want everything to flow. Now, if you set a tone of aggression, that's what you're going to get back. You're going to get back aggression. People are going to be aggressive towards you. They're going to say certain things, and you're standing there baffled as to why is this person talking to me like this? Because you set the tone. When you're nice to people, majority of the time, they're nice to you. When you come to someone with, look, can I talk to you? Can you do this for me? Thank you. Can you help me with this? Can you do this? People they will do anything you ask when you come to them like that. But when you come to them on a power trip, like you done lost your mind, they're not going to do nothing. They'll leave you standing there looking crazy. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't even know why. But it was just on me today to say these things, because obviously some people are struggling with that difficult family member, that difficult friend, that difficult coworker, that different in-law, that different friend of a friend that just drives you crazy. You know, I was telling a friend today, I said, you know, there are so many people that I have tried to like. I have tried to like these people. I have done everything I can to like them, to try to get along with them, to try to have some type of decency between us. Some folks not gonna let you. Do you know that? Do you know some people are not going to allow you to treat them well? Some people are not going to allow you to be nice to them. Do you know what a miserable existence that is? That you want one thing, but you're giving out something else. I want people to respect me. I want people to be nice to me, but you mean, ugly, low down, rude. You're giving out bad things, accepting good things in return. How does that play out? How does that play out? I mean, if you walk up on somebody and you're aggressive and ugly, and you talking to them ragging and talking to them some type of way, but you're expecting them to say, oh yeah, well, I understand. Yeah, I got it. Really? You can't have it like that, Shug. It's not going to go that way. And again, I don't know who I'm talking to. This experience happened to me, and it has happened before, where people feel that they can just take it upon themselves to just say what they feel like saying to me. But you better not say nothing back to me. You better not say nothing back to me. You better not roll your eyes. You better not roll your neck. Don't grumble under your breath. Don't even don't blow. Just take it in stride, move along. I see some of y'all going, yeah. Philomena, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. You talking about so and so. You talking about such and such. I know who you talking about. Because yesterday I was ready to slap their head off. I was ready to snatch their weave off their head. I was ready to take that trip to my car. Stay away from the car. Don't go to the car, baby. Stay away from the car. And don't snatch nobody weave out here. Let the weave stay in. Don't snatch nobody weave out. But I mean, it just gets to the point to whereas what is it that I need to do to get along with you? This has troubled me over the years. It has troubled me over the years as to what makes people hate me. Who am I? Who am I for somebody to hate me? What do I have that you don't have? Everybody on this earth has been given a certain set of talents for you to do well. And if you were only given one, which is to sweep a floor, be the best floor sweeper you can be. Sure, we all are envious and jealous and of other things that people have and things that people do. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself now. I'm not jealous of nobody. I'm not envious of nobody. Don't lie to yourself. Don't do that. Be truthful. Be truthful. Be transparent. We have all said, "Oh, I wish I had so and so. Oh, I sure wish I was them." But do you know what those people have gone through and or going through to have what they have? Do you know the hell sometimes that people have to go through to get and keep what they have? Didn't think about that, did you? Some people are gifted for some things and they make it look easy. I get accused of that at work all the time. Oh, Philomena don't do nothing. All she do all day is just walk around. She ain't doing nothing. That's because the task that I am assigned, that's a part of my gift makeup. So yes, I make it look easy because it's a part of my training. It's a part of my being. So yeah, I make it look like I don't do anything. But however, what about other people? You're walking around too. What are you doing? Because if we take the focus off of other people, if you get so busy, then you can't worry about what nobody else doing. Because if you're so busy worrying about what somebody else doing, you ain't doing enough. You're not busy enough. You got too much time on your hands. You need something to do. And I've noticed that. I've noticed that in life, I have noticed people hate efficiency. People hate competence. People hate excellence. Whether it be a subordinate, a peer, a superior, a boss, or owner. People hate this on all levels. You get called arrogant and various other ugly names because you're efficient. Have you been called any of those names? Arrogant and you got a chip on your shoulder. You think you know everything. Has that happened to you? Has that happened to you? You're not arrogant. You're confident. You're confident and you're knowledgeable of your skill set. And guess what? When you're knowledgeable, competent, comfortable in your own skin and in your own skill set, you don't have time to worry about what nobody else doing because you don't care. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't have time to be wondering what Sally doing, what Jane doing, what this one's doing, what that one's not doing. You don't have time because your mind is focused on the task at hand that is before you. Maybe some of us need a little more focus. Maybe some of us need a little more to do. Maybe some of us need to try to hone the skills that we already have instead of envying what you believe somebody else has. Life is too short. And many of us need to work on ourselves. I work on myself daily. It is a 24/12 job to be me. To keep me from saying the things that I really and truly want to say. Even though many people say I don't have to say a word because everything I feel shows up in my face. I've worked on that for 57 years now. And I haven't conquered it. Maybe you'll be able to conquer it, but somewhere along the line, we never really get a chance to conquer everything about ourselves. And somewhere along the line, it's going to come out, whether it be from your mouth or show up in your face. Your displeasure with something, it'll show up in your face. Whether you didn't like what somebody said, you didn't like what they did. It's all a part of being human. And that's what I am. I'm a human being. I'm a human being with feelings. I'm a human being with rights, just like everybody else. So why is it that people want to infringe on my right? I'm quite sure people infringe on your rights too. Telling you what you should say, how you should say it. You should say it how I like it. If I don't like it, then I'm the victim. What? You hurt my feelings. Again, we're back to square one of turning the other cheek. Being mindful of each other. And many of us are not mindful. We're too busy up our own butt that we can't even see the people around us. It's all about me and how I feel. You can't live in a society like that. Everybody's so self-absorbed they can't see the person that's standing right before them. And I remember in the Bible it talked about ditch digging, how we dig ditches for other people, and and I've heard people say, well, if you dig one ditch, you need to dig two. Why? You don't need but one. What you gonna dig two ditches for? You gonna fall in two of them? Do that make any sense? You don't need to dig but one. Because one or two things are going to happen. Either you going to fall in it or your victim. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be you. So why waste all that energy digging 2 ditches when you only need one? And make sure that it's in your size and make sure it's a proper depth when it comes to me. Because there's so much energy wasted. The energy that a lot of people spend on ditch digging, backstabbing, and lying, that is so mundane and boring. That is the life of a small-minded person. That is the life of a person who has no life. They have no ambition. They have no drive. Their drive is to try to drive you into the ground, to try to put the spotlight on you, to take the spotlight off themselves, to try to enhance your flaws, to cover up their own. I keep coming back to turn the other cheek. I just keep coming back to that. You know, turning the other cheek a lot of times is one of the most difficult things that a person can do. Because I promise you, if you keep turning them, people are going to take every opportunity to keep slapping them. Oh, they're not going to do nothing. They're not going to do nothing. They're not going to say nothing. Nobody ain't gonna do nothing to me. They ain't did nothing all this time. Ain't nothing gonna happen to me. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. But then when that person comes to their enough and they set your soup out and they set it out well and they pour it out, then you become the victim. How that work? How that's working for you? Trying to play the victim. How is that working for you? Is that working for you? Playing the victim. Only for a season. And guess what? It's not victim season no more. Victim season is over. It's now the season of the victor. Season of the victor. Remember that. All of the liars, the naysayers, the backstabbers, their season is over for you, darling. See yourself victorious. See yourself on top. Be what the scripture says that you are. That you are above only. Did you hear that? Above and only, and not beneath. First and not last. First. That means you at the head of the line. That now everything stands before you. The world is just opened up before you. New doors have just opened up before you because of everything that you've gone through. And a lot of us have gone through some but the scripture is true. It says that you are blessed in everything you put your hand to do. That's good. Okay? But you see, that blessing go 2 ways. Okay? Now, what you put out is what you get. What you put in the ground, what you plant, is what you eat. So, if you plant good, good is going to come to you. You plant bad, you plant deceit, lies, and all this stuff. Guess what's finna come up for you? It's not going to be good. Don't be a hater. Don't be in a place of being angry about somebody else's blessing. How dare you knock somebody else out of a position? Yeah, I'm talking to you. How dare you knock somebody else out of a position that you can't do nothing with? Yes, they made it look easy. But then when you got it, you found out, guess what? This ain't as easy as I thought. And now here it is, you trying to throw everybody else under the bus, trying to compensate for your flaws because you don't know what the hell you doing. You've bit off more than you can chew. And now you realize that you are very far out of your element. Earn it. Don't take it. Don't steal it. You ain't got to steal nothing. Opportunity is free. Everybody has the opportunity to do anything they like. You don't have to go around taking people down and knocking people out of position because you think that you can do it better. There's room for growth everywhere. And if it's not where you are, move on. Sometimes we outgrow places where we are. Our season is over. A lot of times we are in positions where we don't know when to move. You see what I'm saying? The scripture says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I said walk through the valley of the shadow of death. That's a dark place. It's a low place and it's a dark place. Did the scripture say, well, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to put down roots. I'm going to start a family. I'm going to get a job in the valley? In the low place? In your places of Lodabar? In your place of testing? In your place of making? That's the place that you want to stay in? Do you know what that's like? That's a perpetual cycle of just nothing. That's a revolving situation of nothing. You're not progressing forward. You're not even moving back. You're just standing still in that one place. You're not learning anything because you're not trying, because you're too busy looking at everybody else and trying to knock everybody else out of position. Opportunities are just passing you by. They just passing you by. The people that can help you, you burnt your bridges with them. They're not going to help you. Oh, I'm sorry. I might even be one of them. That before you got ugly with me, I might have helped you. But you broke your plate and you burnt your bridge. So now you have no way out and you're hungry. We need to be very careful how we treat each other. Because that season of playing the victim, that season is over. You got to come out of it. Join the right team. Come off the team of the victim. Come off team victim and come on to team victor. Be a victor. Be victorious in every single thing that you put your hands to do. Learn to be victorious. Be truthful with yourself. You can't be truthful with anybody else until you're truthful with yourself. You can't love anybody else until you first love yourself. All of these things go hand in hand. If you're miserable, you're not going to make me miserable now. True, there's a saying that says misery loves company. I'm not your company. I can get out of your company so fast and make your head spin. You won't even think I was ever there. Come on, people. Come on. Let's get up, look up, go up, grow up. Most of all, grow up. You remember the story about the master and the talents? He had 3 servants. To one he gave 5. To one he gave 2. And to one he gave 1. I'm going to end on this. The one with the 5, he came back. He said, look, I did this. You gave me 5, I got 10. This is what I brought back. The master said, good and grateful servant. You did well. I can trust you with this. The one with the 2, same thing. Then we come to the one with the 1. Well, the master says, well, what did you do? Well, I took the talent you gave me and I buried it. One thing. You were in charge of one thing and you buried it. You didn't do anything with it. One thing. Then you wonder why the master came along and took that one that you had and gave it to the one with the most. Why do you think he did that? Because you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything with what you were given, which is sad. That is so sad. That you can't even be trusted with one thing. You can't be trusted with one job, with one position, because you get it and it just blows your mind. It just takes you places. So who gonna trust you? You see what I'm saying? When it's time to take responsibility for that role that you're in, don't start slinging mud. Don't start slinging people under the bus. You take that hit. Say that, yes, I was wrong. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. But no, the average person going, what? They going to throw somebody else under the bus. You going to get hurt, not me. And I'm going to lie till I can't lie no more. And that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Let's do better. Let's use our power for something greater. Yes, let's use our power to enlighten ourselves, to enlighten others, to lift up others, to bring others up, to bring others out. Instead of always trying to have your foot on somebody's throat. Sure, that makes you feel good. It makes you feel powerful. But in the end, guess what? That person got to get up eventually. And when that person gets up, guess what? They might be looking down on you. I know I've talked a little while, but I just felt these things needed to be said. Sometimes we just need to hear it. To bring ourselves back in focus of how we treat each other. And to be perfectly honest, I am notorious for the 3-minute funeral. Do you know what a 3-minute funeral is? I'm going to think about what you've done. I've given you chance after chance after chance after chance after chance, and now I'm sort of kind of done. I have that 3-minute funeral. You have now been eulogized and buried. You no longer exist. I know many of you are not going to agree with that. Oh, that's not the Christian thing to do. What would Jesus do? I'm neither. I'm Falame. And when Falame get her nerve, Falame gonna have that 3-minute funeral, and I'm done. Some of you all may need to have some 3-minute funerals for some people and some situations in your own life, because I call that dead wood and things that no longer serve me. So why should you have to deal with things that no longer serve you? Think about that. And that's it for today, y'all. I love you guys. Think about that. And I'll see you next time. Peace.